Welcome to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. If you would like to support this channel, please hit the like button and consider subscribing if you enjoy the content. And now, let's start with the first story. It's called 99% Discount. This was several years ago, back when totally wireless earbuds were still a new concept. This earbud that I bought was just an individual, it didn't come in pairs. I bought one earbud for $30, which seemed like a good deal at the time, but it arrived to me broken. It wouldn't turn on or charge. So I emailed the company, and they sent me a 99% discount code. They never stated in any of our emails that this code was only to be used on one more earbud. Why should I pay to replace something that never worked in the first place? I would have gladly sent the first back and waited for another one to be delivered, but they insisted that I just use the discount code to replace it. Instead of buying one earbud for 30 cents, I bought 100 for $30, which is the original cost of just one. I gave a ton of them away, my friends kept losing them and I just kept handing them out. But I also sold a bunch and made over $100 in total. I could have made more money, but I kept losing them myself, so it was good to keep extras. By the time I lost all of them, I was ready to buy a true pair of totally wireless earbuds. The next story is called Casino Ships. Several years ago, I worked in the Cage, the place where you cash out in a casino. During my time there, I was a cashier and a manager. We had people trying to get things over on us all the time. From invalid coupons, fake ships from other casinos, shortchange artists, and others. The folks I always enjoyed dealing with were the ones who would bring a large amount of lower denomination ships. Usually the total would be around $150 to $300. Now, as a cashier, these people never faced me and they did not get anything over on me. As a manager, I would back up my people. The shortchange shipcon works like this. The customer puts down a handful or two of chips and starts immediately complaining about how long it is taking. They will interrupt the cashier constantly, telling them how much there is and demanding the money. Also, people with fake chips use the same tactic. If the cashier gets rattled, they will miscount and pay out wrong. So here is where the malicious compliance comes in. Since the customer is complaining that it is taking too long and the cashier is counting wrong, I would go over and help. I would instruct the cashier to make sure they counted correctly by verifying every ship. That is asking for someone to come over and check it. I would also tell my cashier that anytime the customer interrupted, to stop, mix the ships up and start recounting, and tell the customer they need to start over for accuracy. Basically doing the exact thing to them, except the speed. Well, this resulted in the payout being super correct, taking a long time and the customer basically having to keep quiet. Also, it gave me plenty of time to get a picture of the person sent to every cage, so they would be aware we had a chip shorter on board. I also got to recognize a few of these folks and would greet them as they came up to the window, which they usually responded to by just being quiet. I kept several of my cashiers from losing their jobs due to their drawers being off. The third story is called Rock Normal. We've been living in this apartment for 3 years. It's old, it's cozy. The building is around 20 years old, and though the appliances and wall paint and carpets have been replaced, the floor has not. It's painfully thin. Every step we take creaks and groans, and it's annoying. Living on the third floor, we know it's gotta be even more so for whoever lives below us. So we've done our best to be mindful of their comfort and try not to make too much noise. We had a new downstairs neighbor move in a couple of months ago, and she is not convinced that we are literally tiptoeing around our department. Every time I get home and close my door, she is banging on my floor with a broom or something. Every time I cross the living room, banging. Every time I vacuum, banging. Every time my dog chews on a bone, she bangs on the dank floor and it scares my poor dog. We've been living on eggshells trying to be courteous, but she's driving us mad with her insistent banging every time we take a step. I guess she had finally had enough because she came upstairs to yell at us the other day. You are too loud. You need to be courteous and walk normal. You have neighbors, she yells. She almost looked like she was going to cry. It was disturbing. We felt bad. My husband tried to explain that, "Ma'am, We do our best to be quiet, but these floors are really old and they creak. We are not stomping or jumping or running. We are living, but will continue to be considerate. She was not impressed with his answer and continued to argue. Well, I lived on the first floor before, and my other neighbors weren't loud like you. It's so loud, and my job is so stressful, so I want you to stop stomping. I don't want to be a mean person, but I really think you are too loud. So, you know what we agreed to? To walk like normal people. Okay, we'll walk normally, we said. This is exactly what we had been doing. Nothing different. So she still bangs on the floor and gives us nasty looks. But we are being normal people who walk normal and don't stomp around. Our dog is a normal dog who chews on bones and walks from his bed to his food bowl and gets excited when it's time for Rockies. We are so normal. We'll be moving out the next month, so it's no skin off my back. Hope the next tenant doesn't have kids. Or maybe I do. And then she'll finally understand that we are normal people who walk normal. Maybe she will miss us. The last story is called Corporate Discounts. I was supposed to go on assignment in Toronto for about a month and a half, so I found myself a nice studio apartment right across the street from the office. This was quite a while ago, way before Airbnb. I submit my options to the travel department, and they deny it, saying I should get a hotel instead, at one of X, Y, or Z chains. So I look up hotels and find one that was a couple of subway stations away, but even with our discount code, it was double the amount. I go back to the travel department and explain that not only is it much more expensive, but I'd also incur additional costs. Not to mention, it would be more comfortable to live somewhere with a small kitchen and a washing machine for a month and a half. Their reply was, well, getting that apartment would mess up our metrics. We have volume discounts with several hotel chains, and we know you'll be traveling for about 40% of your time, so we can exactly forecast your travel costs. At the end of my trip, my expenses were tripled compared to what I'd spent on that apartment, since I wouldn't have needed subway rides. We also couldn't get a pass and had to expense individual tickets. This was all on the company card, so I wouldn't keep any money at the end of it, as I might have with an allowance, but I did profit to the max. Since most of my trips were a week long, there was a huge difference in cost. So it got flagged at the end of year audit, and the finance department started asking questions. And since my department was very mobile in general, they found other stupid, wasteful and annoying policies. Car rentals are forbidden if there's a public transportation option. I had to have two $150 taxi rides from the airport to the client's town and back, instead of renting a car for the week at about $80. Lots of policies were changed following this, and I was getting my travel-related replies from someone new in that department afterward. And with that, we end today's video. Let me know what you think about the stories. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the stories and today's video? I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like what I do and want to support me, please subscribe and hit the like button. I hope you have a great day. Stay safe. Bye bye.